Okay, guys, after your notes about the French and Indian War, I've asked you to find on page 18 this section about Fort Loudoun. And the reason we're zooming in on Fort Loudoun is because it's a fort right here in Tennessee. So I'm going to put a little fort in Tennessee. So we're kind of making this connection back to home because this is our story and we live in Tennessee. Okay? Fort Loudoun, they've marked it on the map here. They've marked Monroe County. What I want you to do is circle right here. This county that I'm going to highlight, that's where we live. That's where we are right here in Murfreesboro. Monroe County is over here on the eastern edge of Tennessee. Some of you may know what's on the eastern edge. The Appalachian Mountains are there. Please know that Tennessee is not a colony. Not a colony. Okay? It's on the edge of North Carolina, and North Carolina was a colony. Okay? Our title is Rise and Fall of Fort Loudoun. Rise means things going good. Fall means things going bad. All right. Construction of Fort Loudoun began in 1756, shortly after Great Britain declared war on France. It was built on the edge of British territory in present-day Monroe County with the goal of establishing, underline that, friendly relations with local Cherokee Indian tribes. That's why they built the fort. The British were hoping to make friends with the Cherokee. Because if you remember, it's the French and Indians, right? Most of the Native Americans are helping the French. And the British are like, uh-oh, we got to get some friends to help us out. Okay? The British had hoped that this alliance, alliance means to team up. Maybe some of your superheroes sometimes have an alliance. They team up. The British had hoped that this alliance would encourage the Cherokee to fight with the British against the French. To build the relationship, the British traded European goods such as guns, tools, and cloth with the Cherokee. So the British are trading with them. Everything's going good. Great. British are making friends with the Cherokee. Things went well for a few years. So it's going well. But, uh-oh. As the war continued, the relationship between the Cherokee and the British forces and the colonists became tense. When things are tense, when your muscles are tense, you don't feel good. When things are tense, it's not happy. When the British stopped trading guns with the Cherokee, the Indians struck back by surrounding Fort Loudoun in 1760 and cutting off all food supplies to the settlers. So the British said, we're going to trade with you. Let's be friends. And then they stopped. So they didn't follow through on their promise. That did not make the Cherokee happy. So here's our fort. I'm going to draw a little fort. Most forts would have been made out of wood at the time, so if you want to make some little wood slats. And inside the fort, we have the colonists. There they are hanging out. And around the fort, the Cherokee surround it. These are the Cherokee. This is the fort. And they surrounded it. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that. Let me move that up. They surrounded it and prevented anybody from getting through to the fort to bring them food and supplies. So the people inside the fort are getting hungry. Okay? The settlers held out for months, but finally surrendered. So they surrendered. Yay. But as they are leaving the fort, oh no, the Cherokee attacked the settlers as they left the fort, killing some and taking the rest prisoner. So this fort was built to make friends with the Cherokee, but in the end, the colonists end up dying or becoming prisoners of the Cherokee. That is bad. Very bad. Sad face. Not good. Okay? So, Fort Loudoun was not a success. Fort Loudoun fell to the Cherokee. And a lot of you here in Tennessee may have connections to the Cherokee because a lot of folks in our area still have that are Cherokee. My husband is actually part Cherokee. So the Cherokee lived in the Appalachian Mountains here in Tennessee. The British built a fort on their land. And at first, because they were trading with the Cherokee welcomed them. But in the end, the British did not hold up their end of the bargain. And the Cherokee said, well, you lied. And they forced them out. So Fort Loudoun was a failure. Check out in the More to Know, you can actually see pictures and video from Fort Loudoun. This is one of those places that is near to us that you can actually go and visit. I hope you'll check out more of your own history.